Welcome back to Scotty's Hobbies. Today, July 30th. It's been a minute since I've done my videos. It's not much has changed in California. So it's like I can't beat a dead horse like other YouTube channels. They keep making the same content over and over with different words. I just really can't do that. But yesterday, Lee Zeldin went on a podcast. He did a presentation, I believe at like an auto manufacturing facility or something like that. And he announced that they are going to change the rules. They're going to nix. They're going to get rid of the 2009 endangerment findings, which is what a lot of emissions are based on. And there's a lot of shocking stuff in there, or that could be happening. And I'm going to go over that in this video. Before we get too far, please hit that like button, subscribe, share, check out the video library for a ton of automotive helpful DIY videos and emissions deregulations videos. Now let's get into this. When I first heard about this yesterday, this morning, actually, I have not really been focusing on this because, like I said, nothing has been changing in California. But it is surprising how many of you guys rely on my information for the truth of what is really going to happen and what is really going on. So I spent a lot of time today going through everything and seeing what is really going to happen. And you guys might be shocked. Is this the end of smog in California? We're going to go over that now. And I am very, very surprised about what I found. And I was really, really shocked too. So, like I said, Lee Zeldin, he did his interview. He said they're going to reconsider the 2009 endangerment findings in the greenhouse gas vehicle standards. They're going to redo everything. They're going to reconsider it, see what they could change. And they're going to get rid of all the smogs in the United States. And then first off, I'm like, dude, Section 209B says that California sets their own emission standards, or can. They have to get their rules approved by EPA, yada, yada, yada. So I started looking at it, and I first off like to make sure I do all of my proper research. Don't jump to conclusions. Make sure I give you guys a good grounded opinion about what is really going on. Not give you some of that BS hoopla hype out there that just really spreads lies, and it's crazy because they're just jumping to conclusions by these words that are spoken and not by what is written down in the laws or the potential law rule changes. So, all right. Now, what did I find? What I really dug into and what I found is I went on the EPA website and I found the actual proposed rule reconsideration of 2009 endangerment findings in greenhouse vehicle standards. Greenhouse gas vehicle standards. I looked at the whole rule summary. You can see I'm going to post it up right here. On July 29th, 2025, EPA proposed to rescind the 2009 Greenhouse Gas Endangerment Findings. The endangerment findings is a prerequisite for regulating emissions from new motor vehicles and new motor vehicle engines. And you see it says new. That is going to be one of the key words I was looking at. I said, so this is only going to apply to new vehicles. This isn't going to roll back. Continued on doing my research. And everything that I talk about in my videos, everything, there's links in the description below to what I am talking to you guys about. So you guys can go click on that yourselves and do all the reading yourselves and come back to me and tell me that I am wrong. So I read that. And then down here, there is documents related to this proposal. The first one, reconsideration of 2009 endangerment findings and greenhouse gas vehicle standards, notice of proposed rule making. It's a PDF. So I clicked on that. I went through there and I do a keyword search. What I'm looking for is 209B, California Air Resource Board. Those are the keywords I'm looking for. And really, I couldn't find much in that first one. I did find where they mention 209A, and that just lets you know that states can't create their own emission standards. But on the other hand, if you go over, and real fast, we're going to switch back and forth. If you go over to congress.gov, I'm going to show you real fast. If I could find it. I've been doing way too much on my phone. Should have had all this prepared for you guys. But at congress.gov, California and the Clean Air Act waiver frequently asked questions. If you go down to the waiver process, let's see what that says. And just to be clear real fast, what is the waiver process by which California applies for waivers? CAA, so the Clean Air Act, Section 209B, allows California to seek a waiver from the federal a preemption provision that prohibits states from enacting emission standards. So only California can come up with their own emission standards and get them approved by the EPA. And then going down further, Section 209E allows California to seek authorization to enforce its own standards for certain new non-road vehicles and non-road vehicle engines. So in Section 209, that allows California to create their own emission standards. And again, I reiterate this on every single video. That is what we need to get changed. So going back over to the EPA PDFs that you'll find on the press release. And like I said, in that first link, there's not much. Go down to the third link, and this is the red line vision. This is looking at everything that the greenhouse gas standards created, the rules that it created, and what is going to be taken away. And if you look at this, you go through here, you're like, oh my God, there's so much that's going to be taken away, or the rules are going to be taken away. Possibly all smog is going to be going away. By looking at this, I'm like, when I first saw this, I'm like, California's screwed. This is the end. But then I looked at it again. I read carefully, went through everything, and at the top it says attachments. So Part 85, control of air pollution from mobile sources. Looked at that. There's a lot of stuff that's going to get deregulated. Part 86, control of emissions from new and in-use highway vehicles and engines. That one caught my attention. And all the rest is for new vehicles pretty much, and that's really it. So let's go look at Part 86 of this EPA press release. But first, let's read the top. So it says, subject, redline version of EPA's proposed regulations for the reconsideration of the 2009 Endangerment Finding and Greenhouse Gas Vehicle Standards. Right here it says, EPA is proposing to remove all regulations that require light-duty and medium-duty and heavy-duty motor vehicle manufacturers and heavy-duty motor vehicle engine manufacturers to measure, report, and comply with EPA standards for greenhouse gas emissions. So that right there makes you think, they're not going to have to worry about smog. Why are they going to worry about smog? The states aren't going to have to worry about smog, right? The attached file is the redline version of the proposed amendments showing the changes relative to the current code of the federal regulations. So that just says this is the current regulations. The redline stuff is going to be taken away. The regulatory text in the attached file is intended to be the same as what will be published in the Federal Register. So this is what's going to go to the Federal Register and become the new law. Again, California might be screwed. This document published in the federal law is the official copy for purposes of proposal and comment. All right, so let's go down to Part 86. And what is 86? Let's see. Let me get there. 86. Control of emissions from new and in-use highway vehicles and engines. Go down a little bit more. This is what caught my attention. Now pay attention, you guys. Caught my attention, so you pay attention. All right. California Air Resource Board, CARB. This is what is going to pertain to CARB when these rules go through. And when I read this, or when you read this too, take in the understanding how much power California really has when it comes to vehicle emission standards. 86.1 amended. 9. Amended 86.1 by removing and reversing paragraphs C, 2, and 3, and F, 3, 17, yada, yada. That's going to get some non-important stuff. All right. C, California Air Resource Board. This is the part that pertains to California. Remember this. Take a look at that. LEV3 exhaust emission standards are in Title 13 Motor Vehicles, Division 3 Air Resource Board, Chapter 1, yada, yada, yada. 2015 and subsequent model passenger cars, light-duty trucks, and medium-duty vehicles, effective December 31st of 2012. Now next, look at the very next paragraph. LEV3 evaporative emission standards for model year 2015 and later. That means newer. Those are not crossed out. The very next two paragraphs, those are rules that are going to be in effect in 2026. Those are crossed out. But the current emission standards in California is LEV3 emission standards. Why are they not crossed out on this bill or this proposed, I said bill, it's a rule, on this proposed rule to get rid of all emission standards. You know what? Let me tell you why. Because the Clean Air Act is a federal law that was codified by Congress or approved by Congress. In Section 209, Part B of that law, it states California could set their own emission standards. Until that rule is changed by Congress, California emission standards are not going to change. I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to understand what is really going on and what really needs to happen. I know there's a lot of people out there that are just passing on a bunch of hype and hoopla about what is going to happen. It's lies, dude. Make sure you guys do your own research. You notice I don't come out with videos right away when anything happens. People are like, "Where are you at? Where are you at, bro? Like the cat got you by the tongue?" No. I'm making sure that I get good factual information to provide to you guys so you can see what is really going on. Now again, everything that I talked about in this video, there's links in the description for you, or below, for you guys to go check it out and read. Make sure if you see anything I'm missing, either email me, comment below, shoot me a message down in the description. I do have my email. Sometimes I have my phone number down there on my text line. But it is super easy to get a hold of me, and I do read darn near every message I get. I do get a lot of comments, sometimes hundreds a day, so I do miss some of my comments. But if I'm missing something, if you read these documents presented by the EPA and it says something different in your opinion, comment below. Let me know. But again, it looks like California emission standards are here to stay. They're not changing until Congress gets their butt in gear and changes Section 209B of the Clean Air Act, which is a federal rule. Well, what about federal supremacy? Federal supremacy, you know, California can't override federal supremacy. Well, guess what, you guys? It's federal rule, federal law that California can set their own emission standards. It needs to change. When that changes, California's going to be screwed. When it happens, I will bring you that news. But until then, sit back, you guys. Business is normal in California. It does suck, but this is what it is. Stop believing the hype. Make sure you do your own research. I appreciate each and every one of you guys watching my videos, and I'm super surprised about the following I have created that was anticipating me to provide a video on this subject. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if I missed something, comment below. Email me, text me. I love hearing from you guys. Oh yeah, talk-ish in the comments, you guys. Let me know I'm a crybaby. Let me know I'm wrong. I really, well, I don't need, it's crazy what's going on, but it really helps in the algorithm if you guys hit that like button, comment below, hit the dislike button. I don't care what it is. Just react and comment, you guys, please. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies, and I will see you guys on the next hopefully helpful video.